Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a place made just for you. We at Weyland Yutani have done just that. Come explore our luxurious Earth-like biomes using state-of-the-art technology developed by Weyland Corporation. We have created perfection. Breathe air fresher than anything you have ever experienced. Swim in our crystal clear waters and experience what the finest genetic engineering has created by taking a simple stroll through a park. What are you waiting for? Come to Paradisio now and experience life.
Howdy, how's it going? How you guys doing? We're back for another episode of Alien RPG. This is not the same group you saw before, at least not the cast. The players are still the same, but the cast of victims are not. We actually have the real people here. If you watched last week, you would know that what you saw that time happened in the future, and now we're in the past, which is currently the present. It'll all make sense post. Don't worry about it. Hi, I'm Rindis. I am your storyteller, mother, or whatever you would want to call me for this game of Alien RPG. I really don't have anything else to say other than, how you guys doing? It's so great to see you again. I've thought about this all week, and I'm really excited to see where this takes us. Why don't we have a moment to go around and introduce everybody again so that we have a chance to get to know y'all. I gotta make adjustments because we have somebody missing. I just want to make sure I don't call on the wrong person who's not here. So our first person is ArchivalDustBun.
Hey, that's me. Yeah, I'm Anna, aka ArchivalDustBun, most places on the internet. Queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer. If any of that sounds interesting, you can find me on Twitter at ArchivalDustBun. And I will be playing Sarah, the pilot, who is bringing all of these lucky people to Paradisio. Or most of these lucky people to Paradisio.
Most of
sure,
them,
it'll be great.
And then we will jump right on down to PH.
Hi everybody, I'm PaladinHulk, Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday, Little Red Dot, and Apollo Scripted. And I'm playing Gerald, who's very happy to be here, and I look forward to helping out in any way I can, which is not a lot.
He's very helpful. He does important work. He's got big
My
things
character
going
does
on.
one thing well, and that's looking at things. He's observant, and that's it.
He's got big things going on, y'all. And last but certainly not least, we jump right on down to Mitch.
Hi, I am Mitch. You can find me at Mitchsbustillos on Twitter. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Today I'm playing Juniper, who is a psychologist. So very excited for this to happen.
Awesome. All right, well, without any further ado, also my notes are not transferring from one side to the other, so I'm going to have to figure that out later. It's fine. We're going to just jump right on into it again then. So much like last week when we first introduced the group, campaign play runs very different from cinematic play. However, to frame this for everyone, it still is a wonderful camera shot of a colony ship pulling into view across the stars, directly overhead, a large exoplanet. This planet is much bigger than Earth and is deemed a Gaia world, a perfect habitable zone for Weyland Yutani to implement more of its control by establishing colonies, and Paradisio is one such colony that they have staked their claim on. The residents within this colony ship are not really what's important. What we're seeing instead is the camera brings itself into the hangar where the last preparations for a departure are underway. The last of the colonists have situated themselves into their seats because they had had time to awaken from cryostasis, get up, stretch their legs, put some nutrient slurry into their systems to regain most of their faculties. And now they're comfortably strapped into a dropship that is going to take them down to Paradisio Prime, where they have their 10 years of service expected to be filled out. This would have been where we would have a moment to showcase one of our players, but they're currently absent, so they're present, but in the background. But right now the camera zooms in and focuses more on the pilot's cockpit, where we see two individuals, a co-pilot, a young man with a nice brush broom mustache and a pair of sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt that has the red variety with some very warm tropical colors and some long extinct island trees plastered across it, as well as some contraband fruits that are not allowed to be shared within Weyland Yutani services. But he is sitting there comfortably. This Hawaiian shirt is, of course, tucked under his regulation flight jacket, but otherwise he's comfortable. But seated next to him is the actual captain, and that is where we have our chance to first meet Sarah. What does Sarah look like?
Yeah, so dropping into the seat next to him is a woman in her late 20s, pin-straight black bob down to her chin, wearing kind of tank top and pants with a green flight jacket pulled over it, popping out with a smile, looking over to co-pilot. I really don't get why you insist on wearing those shirts.
Oh, well, that's easy. They're comfortable. They're very breathy. The people on shore leave love them, and I think it gives me a bit of personality. You don't like it?
They're pretty flammable too.
I mean, most things that the company puts together are. This is basically a flying coffin. Are you kidding?
I guess that's true. How long you been flying?
This will be going on 10 years now. Most of that is split up in cryo, of course, but I've clocked in at least 200 hours.
Okay, that's good to know. I think this will be a smooth ride. They say we might have a rough entrance to Atmo, but aside from that, it should be easy going.
Oh, well, it's a good thing I'm going to leave it in your capable hands.
And I'll go through and start prepping this ship for takeoff.
He does kind of give you just this big shit-eating grin, and as the two of you start going through the pre-flight checklist and preparations, you guys see that everything's in the green. Nothing out of the ordinary. This ship hasn't had to do any other flights in some time. You've been in cryo for 6 months now, before your last job, before taking this one on. And so it's been here in the hangar, and engineering has made sure that it was up and running this whole time. So there's nothing really to worry about. But as the ship goes into its flight, it exits out of the colony ship, and it, like many that will be happening throughout the day, starts its departure procedures and exits into the blackness of space. The ship drifts very slowly but with purpose towards the large planet, and you're following your nav computers, and before long you start the entry process. So why don't you give us the first roll of the day, please? I do believe, as the helicopter goes by, give me a piloting roll, please. Let's see how well you actually do, because there's a very good chance you could burn up and dive right now. First roll of the day, no pressure.
Yeah, after last week, no pressure at all.
You did good until the stress started racking up.
Same as last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not rolling.
I mean,
on
I'll push
Roll20,
myself.
that's-
I
Listen,
will push
roll-
myself, because why not?
Yeah. There it is. All right. Okay. And so it's bumpy. He says, this will be a cakewalk. Don't worry. And worst thing happens, the explosive decompression will kill us before we're cooked alive. So he.
Don't worry, sunshine, aren't you?
Well, I do what I can. And the two of you are able to mostly keep the dropship steady. Maybe you guys hit just like, a wind pocket, and there's a large bit of turbulence that just shakes the ship uncontrollably. And it looks like for a second the electrical cuts out, but you're able to quickly get everything back under control with some maneuvers and a little bit of rewiring. To the passengers, it just looks like the lights flickered out for a moment. The seatbelt lights came on, and they were not aware of the fact that there was about 10 seconds of free fall before the ship engines came back on. It's all
They
part
couldn't
of the
hear me
plan.
in the cockpit going, piece of shit ship.
Yeah,
Going through flipping things.
there are thick doors per regulation after having to deal with hijacking attempts from the three worlds. They basically reinforced a lot of the cockpit doors so that you didn't have to deal with anyone trying to get in there, but it also worked as a soundproofing, so they couldn't hear your expletives. There are children aboard, so that's part of the... But it takes about 20 minutes to get from the colony ship to Atmo to a safe gliding altitude before you see that Paradisio Prime comes into view. And contrast to what had been seen in the previous episode, now it is a pristine looking colony. It has the outer perimeters as before, but these perimeter walls have guard towers on them with automated turrets to fend off any would-be predators from the local jungles. The pathway leading up to the main gate has deployed down, road pavement blocks, those prefab ones that like a truck can just set into place and build a road through rough terrain. And the road looks very well maintained. There are lights that illuminate its path into the jungle. You make me an observation roll. I think that'll be fun too. Okay. Nothing important. It's just sort of, if you're watching where the trail goes, it disappears into the jungle and you can't quite see where it leads. But your attention is more focused on following the nav computer that's guiding you in on the landing sequence. And give me one last piloting to try and stick this landing. As you get close to this landing pad, it's illuminated. There's a little bit of guidance, and if there's an option to add a bonus, go ahead and put one in, because everything is hunky-dory right now, and you have the ability to get in pretty well.
Okay. Just +1 modifier.
Yeah, because the guidance system is in place right now.
I'm looking out. They weren't kidding about this place, were they? I mean, I don't want to crash, so I guess I'm going to push myself again.
It doesn't necessarily mean you'll die, but okay. And so it seems like whoever told you that the landing ship was in tip-top shape might have lied to you. The landing gear doesn't quite deploy the first time you push it, and so you have to make another pass. It's not worth trying to risk hoping that the landing gear will deploy before you touch down. So you fly by, and there's just a quick buzz of the colony area before you zoom back around, and this time you're able to bring it back down. There is a very sputtery stop with the reverse thrusters bringing it into position, and just and then you touch down with a soft thud, and the seatbelt lights come off, and the colonists start to disperse. But it leaves the two of you to breathe a sigh of relief now that the ship has made it.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Hey, it's nothing to worry about. I told you it would be fine. And look, see? And he taps the top panel, and it comes loose, and some wires fall out. Tin coffin, you know? It's a good thing we made it. It's a good thing you were flying. If I had done it, oh boy, we all would have been dead.
I don't know. I saw you worked with those wires. I doubt that very much. I appreciate your help.
Hey, it's no problem. We work better as a team after all. And he didn't introduce himself earlier, but he does, he kind of like passes this toothpick that he had procured from his pocket from one side of his mouth to the other, and he says, name's Kowalski.
Sarah.
Sarah. Nice. We're on a first name basis. Okay. It's Richard.
Nice to meet you. Might as well be first name if we're going to be flying these flying coffins around.
That's
May
true.
Not get another
That's
chance
true.
to tell him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, good old Dick Kowalski. All right. And so he basically says, I can handle the shutdown procedures if you got stuff to do or anything you need to get off of the ship. It's all good.
Thanks. Let's start getting my stuff together. And I will head to wherever we have stuff stowed. But I'm going to take a second and sit down because I took 2 stress in that flight.
Yeah, it was pretty stressful.
And just sit there for a moment fiddling with a ring that I have on a chain around my neck.
All right.
And then I'll get my stuff and start getting off.
Yeah, what does that look like when you start to defrag while fiddling with this chain? What are you thinking about? What are you focusing on to kind of bring yourself back together?
Just happier times. Times when I felt like my life was together.
Yeah, I can dig it. Because, you took this job because things were getting rough. And so you needed a break, and why not take a 6-month cryo sleep and light years from those problems to get away from it and really put things into perspective?
Yeah,
So
I've been flying on a scavenger ship for the last decade or so being on planet it'll be a nice change, I'm sure.
Putting your feet to the earth will really bring it into perspective.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I'll gather up my stuff and head off.
Yeah, and so you grab your belongings, and everybody is filtering out of the little loading bay that will depart them down onto the ground. And as you step out, you feel this humidity. It's a little warmer than you might have expected, but spending 10 years on a pressure-controlled scavenger ship, temperature's probably always set to about 70, 75 to keep it cool, but not too warm, not too cold. But here it's a comfortable like 85 with some humidity, because it's a tropical rainforest, and so it's not too hot, but it's perfect because just like everything in Paradisio, it's perfect. But this is where you see. Oh, go ahead.
Shed the top part of my flight suit just down to my tank top.
Yeah, and so you see that there's a crowd of colonists are gathering around, and this is where we get the first look at Gerald, who is the welcoming committee to usher in everybody. Juniper, this is also probably where you have also kind of wandered in to get a look at everything. So why don't we have Gerald first, and then Juniper can tell us what they look like after.
Okay. Gerald is a man in late 30s, I think. He's dressed smart. He's got a nice shirt on, even though the heat and all the sweat that comes with it is taking toll. He looks uncomfortable, but like excited to be doing his job, which is to greet everyone there. He's got a bunch of bags with him to hand out, which appear to contain bug spray and things like that. Little things that make life more comfortable when you're in an environment this humid and this riddled with insects. And fancy clothes, to a degree. He's got some lines on him, a little hunch. Looks like a good person, if a little soft.
Yeah, and what about Juniper? What are we seeing?
Yeah, Juniper is looking out at everyone. It's obvious that Juniper is an android. Very dark eyes, and the lips aren't fleshy at all. They're just kind of this dark blue. He is currently wearing a very tight jumpsuit of kind of a dark black material, and has a notebook, slowly taking down the details of everyone's stress levels and ensuring that everyone is safe and calm.
You definitely notice that one person is off taking a moment to let out a bit of stress. They look like they're just off focused in the corner. Our dear Sarah here, they're focusing in on their memento to collect themselves, but you pick up a spike in their heart rate and stress.
I'll approach calmly and carefully.
Sneak attack.
Hello, my name is Dr. Juniper.
Oh.
And you are?
Hi. Sarah, the pilot. Is there something I can help you with?
I just noticed you seem stressed out. I wanted to remind you that my door is always open if you have something that you want to talk about.
Oh, thanks. No, it was just frustration with the ships they give us. They aren't in the best of condition. They're not the easiest things to fly, so that's all it was. I'll be fine.
It has nothing to do with any feelings of inadequacies.
I don't think so.
Good. When was your last psych eval?
It's probably been a year. My last place we were doing them yearly, but I left there, so probably a year.
Okay. I am
Why?
going to encourage you to come see me by the end of the week. Otherwise, I will put it on your report. It will no longer be an encouraging request.
Got it. Loud and clear. I will be there before the end of the week. Where is your office exactly?
You'll find it inside. There'll be signs that point you to the right direction. I trust you can find it on your
Good
own.
to know. Yeah, are there certain hours?
Just ping me an hour before. That'll be fine.
Okay, I will do that. It was wonderful to meet you. I'm gonna go join the group now.
Please do. I think some social interactions would be very good for you. Good day, Sarah, the pilot. And Juniper will step away.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I will.
And so you step back over to where the tour group is gathered. What does the tour group look like once they start approaching?
Me or the people I'm talking to?
What does your tour look like? How are you addressing these newcomers?
I'm in an empathetic manner. You know, I'm here to do a practical job, but the important thing is to make sure that everybody's, you know, comfortable, happy, know that they're welcome here, that we're glad to see them. That things might not be great, you know. There's some stuff, but it's all gonna be fine. And I'll point them to wherever they want to go. You know, that people have designated areas to be. You know, if they're engineers, they have to go over there to speak with person A. If they're scientists, they have to go to the facility that's a little further out, and a shuttle for that will leave in, you know, X amount of time and will depart from there. They can always come back. And, you know, just encourage people to start thinking of this as their home. And then reiterate how important it is to use the bug spray and things, because oof.
Yeah, the insects here can get real bad if you don't want them to bite, and there is a running joke here that they have those like if you thought the bot flies on LV274 were bad with their egg-laying problems, you don't even want to get started about here. Don't let anything in your hair. And so the people, they seem pretty relaxed with your ability to convey the information. You know, it is a colony in work. They have 10 years to get this place to be where they want it to be, and that's really the highlight of this is a lot of people who are these kind of frontier colonists. They take pride in turning nothing into something, and so that's really where they're at right now. And so you see these families disperse, these workers disperse, and it leaves the two of you standing relatively together for a moment with Juniper not too far away, just kind of monitoring everybody. And your work for the day is largely done until the next ship shows up, and that's going to be in about 2 hours. Gerald, you do know
that's a lot
that,
of ships that are still incoming.
Yeah, there's going to be you know, a couple more ships for the day. but it does leave this window to kind of go and grab some lunch or find something else to do for a bit of time. And you have these periods where you're free to go do whatever you want until you're needed back here.
Mhm. Since Sarah missed the start, I'll go over and I didn't get a chance to properly introduce myself. My name is Gerald Atwell. Hello, and you are.
Sarah, I was the pilot that just brought the last ship in.
Hello, Miss Sarah. Welcome to Paradisio. Are you
you.
by any chance an artist in your off time? Let's go this way, and we'll start walking to like the mess hall or whatever it is where she's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Not really an artist. No, I mean I mess with electrical stuff sometimes, but not like drawing or painting or anything like that.
That's a shame. You know, these brand new colonies, there's not a lot of art on the walls, you know. I was
I guess
secretly
there wouldn't be,
hoping.
would there?
Yes. I've been trying, but I appear to not have the touch needed for such endeavors. I hope the heat's not too much for you, but tends to be a little rough on people in the first couple of days. You'll get used to it, I think.
It's definitely different. I'm used to being in space on a ship, so controlled climates and that. But I'll get used to it quickly enough. I am hungry though. Is there a mess hall somewhere?
There is, and the one sort of food they make is, well, it does the job. It's quite nice. But you know, we're growing food every day, and I've been to some of the botany labs, and I'm really looking forward to harvests. You know, it's going to be good. So please don't judge us on what you're about to eat, because it does get better. Hopefully.
I've spent the last decade in space. I'm not going to judge the food here. Don't worry.
Oh, that's
Juniper
very
will-
kind of you.
Juniper will approach, nodding to Gerald. Gerald, you did wonderful today.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. It's very kind. How are you feeling today?
Fine. I wanted to invite yourself and your companion here to my quarters for a decent lunch.
Well, if certainly, I will be most happy to eat lunch. You know. I do have a bit of time before the next ship shows up. So, after all, a man's got to eat. So they say. If that's all right with you, Miss Sarah. If you'd rather, you know, go by yourself and explore the cafeteria, that's also fine. No pressure.
I mean, if it'll be a better lunch, I can definitely join. I'm not going to turn down good
will
food.
that, yes. The food will be substantially better.
Okay, I'm sure this will be fun. So with a glance towards the doctor.
Yes, don't let Juniper's artificial appearance fool you. It's just a suit that she's driving from her room up there. His room, right? Yeah, their room is a little over there. So
Interesting.
I know it's the first time I've seen it. It's really cool being in two places at once.
Well, shall we then?
I'd like that very much.
Yeah. And so
I'll lead you.
yeah, and they lead you on, and the walkways are as Sarah saw from her flight in, and as the two of you know, these walkways are clear, clean, incredibly pristine for a fairly new colony, but it looks like people have been working very hard to get things into a presentable position. There are hydroponic planters that line the walkways that are spaced out between these lampposts that would illuminate things when the sun goes down. And there are hybrid versions of earth flowers that were bred to survive in this new ecosystem that have a similar look, but they are, at least twice the normal size, given the amount of the difference in soil and oxygen that allows them to grow just a little bit bigger than everything else would back on Earth, if any of you had ever had the privilege of being on Earth. But not before long, passing through a number of buildings and corridors, you're taken to an area that seems a little more secure, but Juniper's android is able to open the way for you guys before leading down to where Juniper's lab is situated, and I'll go ahead and pass it back over so that you can tell us what it looks like once they arrive.
Yeah, Juniper's lab is a lovely black marble, very rich and very different from any other place. The walls are a display that showcases a lovely visage of a mountain reminiscent of Earth. He has several circular specimen jars lining the walls, each with small specks of bacteria within them. But he does have a small kitchen in the fashion of a 1920s kitchen that he walks over and opens up a box and pulls out a an exotic fish, definitely not Earth, as he starts cutting it up with a knife. I thought we would have sushi.
Oh, sure that's not too much work for you?
No,
I wouldn't want to impose.
Fine. I requested this. I also want to speak concerning our new guests, and I thought now would be a good time.
Miss Sarah?
No, the other ones. Have you looked over their files concerning their religious affiliations?
That's not really any of my business. I mean, I noticed, but to each their own.
That's incorrect, Gerald. Religious individuals seem to be more zealous, radicalized in times of fear and stress. It's better that
I'm sure once they settled in, it'll all be fine. Surrounded by great scientists and things that are much more practical concerns.
We should keep our eye on them.
They all looked so kind. I'm sure it'll be fine. Except for that one fellow, the one with the scar, seemed a bit well, a little nervous.
Why? Why did this person give off such a vibe for you?
When they shook my hand, they applied a little more force than was quite necessary. It stung a little, and it's been my experience that people who do things like that, they have a little more aggression. It's quite necessary. A little scary.
Are you often scared by such small acts of aggression?
I mean, yes. Your your robot body, I'm sure doesn't have those kinds of problems, but yeah, that's just being mean for no reason.
I see. This fish is very similar to the beta fish of Earth, though in this case some of the scales can be very toxic. You have to be trained in a very particular way to release the scales so that the poison doesn't get into the meat. It's one of my favorites, so it kind of has a sweet taste to it, almost like a steak, an Earth steak with butter and brown sugar.
And you
I
aren't
do like
trained in
steak.
that, right?
Yes, I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't trained. Your safety
It's
is
good to check, though, Miss Sarah. You never
the
know.
utmost.
So if these quarters, are these your quarters or the
They're mine.
android's quarters? Okay.
Why do you ask?
Just wondering. Just looking for something to talk about.
Small talk. Yes, I can get behind this. Gerald, I notice sometimes your nostrils flare up a little bit. You're leaning a little bit towards Sarah at this point in time as well.
Oh, am I? Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. I think relationships here in the colonies is very healthy for humans. It creates roots. It keeps you in a place, kind of like your own cage. And that's a good thing for humanity. Humanity enjoys that very much. So I encourage this, Gerald.
Okay. Little strange you referring to relationships as a cage. It's more like a couch. You know, warm,
And I'm sorry.
sitting there
What,
comfortably.
what are you encouraging?
I think friendship,
at
right?
the-
Community. I am married, as you can see from the ring.
Yeah, and
Friendship
or
without
rivalry.
skipping a beat though, at the mention of cages and Gerald feeling very nervous, his I guess whatever the equivalent of the Alien RPG's cell phone or communicator goes off, and it's set to the ringtone of his wife, and so it rings.
That would be like something fanfare-y, you know? Something with trumpets. Okay, and I'll oh, there's my wife right now. Hello?
Gerald, where the hell are you?
Oh, I'm just having lunch with Dr. Juniper. Did
lunch
the ship
with-
arrive? Oh, am I too late?
The ship hasn't arrived yet. It's delayed.
Oh well, that's I hope it was nothing serious.
No, I just wanted you to know that I won't be arriving when you expect me to. I trust you can
Oh,
manage yourself for a little while.
Oh yes, honey. You just go about your important business, and I'll just see you when I see you. Good luck, and kisses.
Of course. And she does say like a very just dismissive goodbye, but there is just the briefest "love you too" that gets slipped in there, because while she may be a very demanding wife, she does still genuinely care. She just has her own way of showing it. And so the phone is disconnected, and it leaves this awkward silence for a moment.
Sushi's ready.
Oh, that's good. It seems the next ship is delayed somewhat, so got a little more time.
Good. I'm enjoying myself this time with you.
I'm so glad. So, Miss Sarah, do you know anyone here? Do you have any friends or family on the colony? No.
No, I met my co-pilot on the way down. I've met the two of you. That's about it. This is all very new to me. I just kind of picked this settlement, agreed to it, and went off. I needed to get away.
Well, there's lots of lovely people here.
What was that?
Should we pry?
Get away.
Juniper? Seems rather personal.
I mean,
just
she
from-
can always decline.
Just from my old life, it was no longer for me. So I just needed to get away, try and get a new start. And this seemed like a good chance. They said the world was perfect. It definitely looks that way outside. But yeah, I thought this was a good opportunity for that.
It's in the posters, you know, a brand new start of Paradisio. You can be whoever you like here.
I did see that. Yeah, I had seen an ad for it when I was just looking for something new, and I thought, why not? I'm sure they need pilots, both to get down there and around planet, so it's as good as anything else.
It's a nice change for being in space all the time, right? Enrich your life.
You get used to it, but I am excited to be on planet for different. Yeah, I'm excited. But how many people are here? I wasn't really told that much, just how many people I was bringing down and stuff like that.
Let me look up the exact number. You know, it changes daily. You know, people arrive, people. Well, you know, and I'll pull up the exact number.
The current projection, once this colony ship is done unloading, is you're going to have roughly 200 colonists here.
200. You know, give and take.
Yeah, and they're gonna be offloading about 100 of those, so your population is fixing to double.
There's going to be many more people for you to make friends with. And, you know, I'm working on setting up some community events. You know, like movie night, and maybe at some point we can have a bowling alley. People like the bowling still, yes?
I assume so.
I think
there wasn't much room for it on my last shift, but
exactly. That's what I was thinking. You don't bowl on a spaceship, so why not do it here?
No, I think I can appreciate that. It kind of brings to mind like nostalgia, you know, bowling with your dad. I don't think I can imagine bowling without a dad.
I never went bowling with my dad. He was always at work.
Where did he work at?
You don't know?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, my dad was. Haven't named him yet. Howard. And yeah, he runs a big company. Yeah, quite important. Not quite at the top, but near enough. And yes, taught me and my siblings the value of hard work and stick-to-itiveness. And yes, he was always at work, so usually just being the nanny, or you know, and my siblings, of course, when I was young. But yeah, don't really know him all that well, to be honest. I know he climbed that mountain you have on your wall there. That is the insert correct name of mountain.
Yeah. Say the Himalayas.
Ooh, he got to
He had
scale
enough.
the Himalayas.
He had enough time to do such an adventure, but not enough time to comfortable with you.
Some things are more important, I guess. He did
You
have
agree with
quite a few children, so they all rank as high as others. But like the poster
That's
said,
awful.
we could all reinvent ourselves here. That's, when my wife got assigned here, she runs the outpost. You see, she told me that I didn't have to come if I didn't want to. There was really no need for me to come here. But I saw the advertisement and I thought, oh, this is my chance for a whole new life. New bright future. Never been to a jungle before. That's neat. Not really a
And
fan.
the mistakes of the past. Yeah. Are you going to have kids with your wife?
I'm afraid she's too career focused to deal with things like that. She much better person than my father, who shouldn't really say something like that, but I feel that you should not have children if you're not going to have time to care for them. So she's doing the right thing.
That is good advice. What about you, Juniper? Why are you here?
They needed a psychologist, and I answered a call. Like the remoteness of it, the diversity of the ecosystem. I've always been somewhat fascinated with colonies and the process of creating an Earth-like biodome. It's just a very peculiar and interesting process to me that I enjoy watching, though I don't study it, not like I do human behavior and humanity in general. It's just a good opportunity. Very good paying.
Had you been to a jungle before coming here?
No. I spent most of my life in a library. But it's nice.
I keep wondering how realistic it is, 'cause I've never been to a jungle, and most people I talk to have not been to a jungle either on Earth. So it sure looks jungly, and it ticks all the boxes I think of when I think jungle. But I've never been to a real jungle, so I don't know if it's quite right.
I think it is right. I think the one thing that unifies jungles on every planet is the fact that life and death is in abundance. It's kind of like this roar, right, from a waterfall. It makes it very hard to hear things,
like
but
the waterfall. We have a waterfall.
Isn't it?
It's so cool. You don't think that watching water fall down some rocks is going to be all that interesting, but then you see it and you're like, wow, that's majestic.
Is it nearby?
It's
It's
several
a short
miles.
walk, but yeah.
I mean, we could go at some point in time. I wouldn't mind it.
You definitely should make big, plans to visit it at some point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, perhaps when
I
you-
grew up in a city before I became a pilot, so yeah, jungles, waterfalls, I want to see it all.
What city did you grow up in?
I have no idea how they name cities in the Alien universe.
Oh, they have some weird naming
called
schemes
Detroit.
in them. Yeah. I mean, you could pick a new or an existing city and just slap new or neo in front of it, and that would be acceptable for now.
Neo, New Jersey.
Yeah, New York. It's fine.
We'll go with Neo Savannah. Why not?
Ooh, I like it.
That's nice.
Yeah, Neo Savannah. My Dad did a lot of heavy machinery, the ships, but the kind that stay within the atmosphere, moving stuff around. That's how I learned how to fly, mostly. And I don't know, I got tired of being there, and along with my parents, but my mom and I butted heads all the time, so I turned 18, I signed up to be a pilot, got on a scavenger, and that's where I've been since.
I hear they do a lot of ballroom dancing in Savannah. Did you ever... Are you a dancer?
I did not. I knew some kids I grew up with did that, but not me now.
That's a shame. It's a shame. I've been meaning to get a little more practice in. You know, the wife is all... She also really likes to dance, but she's much better than I am. So I need to find time to practice.
I'll keep an ear out. If I find one of the other colonists who can dance well, I'll let you know.
Oh, that would be very kind, thank you.
All right, I think this small dog. Enjoy your sushi.
Yeah, and I think since we established a little danger here with this sushi, we should do a roll to make sure you don't kill everyone.
Everyone dies.
Yeah, everyone dies.
Yeah. Because of bad sushi.
Yeah, roll me a roll me a survival.
I just do it on purpose.
Oh look, you totally could. That's fine. See how well you prepare this, because Alien is a very simplified rule set. It doesn't have nuances like cooking skill.
1 success.
Hey, that's good enough for me, man. So you had explained to everyone what the danger was of this exotic alien fish, very reminiscent to the puffer or mini poisonous fish. If not prepared correctly for this sushi, it would become highly toxic and poisonous for human consumption. But you are masterful in your technique, and you cut these perfectly delicate, melt in your mouth fillets for them to try and enjoy. And sure enough, it is delicious for everyone. If there was any stress left for Sarah, you can go ahead and clear that. I think a good meal and a new experience with the others is good enough to kind of relax.
Yeah, nothing like possible poison to put you right at ease.
Yeah, I mean, it's
gonna end
Poison
my
and
life?
awkward conversation.
Nope.
it's stress relieving to know that you didn't die. Not yet, anyways. I mean, the poison could be slow acting. It's part of the long con.
Yeah, we never checked.
It'll kill you in about 50 years.
Yeah, the mercury accumulation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that, is there anything else the three of you want to go over?
I'd want to talk to Juniper more about the religious stuff that they mentioned.
Yeah.
The concerns.
Yeah, let's
who and what. But maybe not in front of Sarah, because I want to paint a nice, pretty picture of our colony that everything is great.
It is. That's fair. It is. Everything's perfect on Paradisio. That's why they called it that. Yeah. So, Sarah, do you head off anywhere else when the kind of luncheon is dying down? And get a look around, maybe see your quarters.
Yeah. I mean, I'll finish my sushi in awkward silence as requested by the doctor. And then I'll thank them both, and yeah, I'll go off to find my quarters.
Goodbye, Sarah.
Hope to know where I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you again
And
for
so-
lunch.
And so, Sarah, you head off, but we'll linger the camera here for the two of them to have this conversation. The sliding door seals back into place, leaving the two of you to have your private conversation.
Well, she seems nice.
She is okay.
That's very high praise coming from you. So, you were saying something about the religious people. And is there anyone in particular that you're concerned about?
I've been looking over the psyche evals as well as your religious affiliations with a number of individuals. There is a low chance, but there is a chance that in high-stress situations, some of them might come together, and with every religious faction that is stressed, create an other concerning the other parts of this colony. An unhealthy tumor, as it were, that would need to be cut out. But if we can deal with it as soon as possible, I think that would just be lovely.
It's all about fostering community, you know, everyone together. We're all one big happy Paradisio. But is there anyone in particular you're worried about? Is it the person with the scar?
No, I actually am more concerned with your response than his aggression.
My response? I didn't do anything. I didn't shout at him. You know, I didn't make him feel uncomfortable. Everything was fine.
Yeah, there's... Yeah. If I could describe the situation in the most abstract way so that anyone could understand it, I would put you as the rabbit and this person as the fox. But you've chosen the rabbit, and so I'm curious why you've chosen the rabbit, especially out here when you're trying to assert yourself and become a new person.
Yeah, rabbits are nice. Everyone likes rabbits. Yeah, they're cute. People put them on walls and on shirts and keep them as pets. Never seen anyone with a fox for a pet. You know, they're wild animals. They walk through the woods. You know, my ancestors used to hunt those things. You know, like 50 horses would chase the bastards down. So, yeah, don't quite fancy being a fox. No, thank you. Oh, I'll keep the rabbit. Mm-hmm. Also, their feet are lucky.
Are they?
Yeah,
I don't know much about superstition.
It's a definite good thing. But, yes, rabbit's feet very lucky. I don't know why. You know, the chopped off feet of a poor little bunny, but I guess so.
When I was a kid, my father had a hunting cabin. We would go out during the summer to get away from my mom, as well as the rest of the family, aunts and uncles and the like. There was one particular night, as we were sleeping, that we heard a squeal. It sounded like a child in distress. I think it's the kindest way I could describe it. I awoke my father. He assured me it was okay. He got his gun and he followed me outside to investigate. Come to find out that one of the rabbits outside got caught in a trap that was very much meant for a deer.
Oh dear.
No puns, please. And this thing had part of its body elsewhere. What was once one was now two, and it was crying, screaming. And my dad and I, we watched it for a little bit. My dad said when it was time, I would provide it the mercy it deserved. Or at least perceived mercy that my dad thought it deserved. It's just an animal, it doesn't really matter. I waited 20 minutes. I thought it would just bleed out, but it never did. It seemed to be able to squeal for hours on end. Eventually, I cocked the gun, discovered my hands were a little bit too shaky to pull the trigger, at least in a way that was accurate enough to give it the release that it desired. So I had to use my hands. Kind of plunged it at his neck and snapped it. And it was very easy. It was easier than I ever imagined it would be. I think I would meditate on that story if I were you, concerning being a rabbit.
I'll be sure to remember that story. So that other ship should be arriving soonish. So I'm just going. Thank you very much for the lunch. Very, very delicious. You've done a fantastic job. And I'm just going to go out this door here. Bye.
Always a pleasure, Gerald. Always a pleasure.
Same. And I'll think he'll collapse in the hallway, like, what the fuck? I don't think he'll say that, but like that will be the general.
Do you feel that that was a stressful situation for Gerald?
Yes.
Go ahead and tick that up 140, because I think that was very, very stressful, and no amount of delicious exotic sushi could fix that.
Hey, if you come back, I can fix it.
That's true. You guys could have another session. It only costs you 500 credits an hour.
Let me tell you about the time I choked a bunny to death. That'll solve all your problems.
I don't want to shoot the bunny. And so the camera cuts away from Gerald having to really just dissect that whole conversation of having been left with the good doctor, and the camera flies back to where Sarah had started to head in search of where their quarters were. They, in their welcome package, conveniently probably put together by Gerald as well. The Welcome to Paradise package that has all of their maps and what to do's, and a little handy can of bug spray and Purell, or at least Weyland Yutani brand Purell. But there is a map that would give a general indicator of where your barracks would be. You are situated not too far from the hangar and landing pad, so that you have an easier time to do your job. But as you're making your way out of this common area building, the awkwardness of the previous conversation and the thought of being probed and dissected by Juniper's questions and discussion kind of has your mind elsewhere, and it's not long before you don't notice the oncoming body that collides into you, and a young teenager collapses to the floor after bouncing off of you, and they say, shit, watch where you're going. And it looks
I'm
like
sorry I didn't see you.
It looks like they dropped a number of things, and they quickly scramble to start picking them up. Fuck. And they're just trying to very quickly get everything back and tucked into this this half zipped down jumpsuit.
I'll help them pick stuff up.
Yeah, and they're looking over their shoulder frantically, and they're like, you didn't see anybody else coming, right?
No. Are you? Who are you?
Everybody calls me Charlie. and you see that this individual has shaved hair, basically cut to one side is shaved, the other side is just a little long, and it goes just down to the ears, and it's dyed this light blue to match their eyes. They don't really give off a distinct gender. Trying to describe this without it being too weird. They give off a very non-binary vibe, but they say their name is Charlie, and they're just like, shit, just keep an eye out. And they take what's in your hands and start stuffing them, and then they zip up the jumpsuit, and they say, if anybody asks, I wasn't here.
Okay, is somebody chasing you? Do you need help?
If I say yes to the first and no to the second, will you slow anyone down if they come down that hall?
Sure.
And there is a, as they say that, there is just like a distinct whistle blow, and it's like, they went this way, from down the hall, and they're like, fuck, I think I'm out of time, and they start to back up, and they say, remember, you didn't see me. And they
Quick question.
They start running.
Sorry. What did they have that they had dropped?
Oh, do you want to make an observer?
Was I able to see?
Yeah. Make an observer roll. I'll get
To
all these
see
rolls out
what
of
kind
you.
of situation this is. Observe. Oh, this will go well.
Observation.
Hey.
2 successes. What's the forward that you get with observe? Let's see here.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the stunts.
I think I closed down my cheat sheet. Let me open that back up.
That was pinned somewhere, wasn't it? No.
It was. I think in the important docs there's a little cheat sheet. Does that include?
I have panic.
Nope, that doesn't include this. Disregard that. I'm gonna find it here on the book then. Skills. Observation, because it's not alphabetical. All right. So for every success you get to know the answer to one of these questions. Is it coming for me? Doesn't apply. Are there more of them close by? Doesn't apply. How do I get in, past, away? That doesn't apply either. You can ask me an additional question on top of that. I know your first question was basically what are they smuggling or stuffing away, and what you end up seeing is it looks like they had stolen a bunch of rations. Everything, if it's not directly cooked at the mess hall at the center of the colony, they have like little packaged rations and food bars, and it looks like they had stolen a number of the food bars. And basically, in Weyland Yutani, if you are rationed food bars instead of having the credits to buy real food, they come in 3 varieties from a grade rating of quality, and it's like there's a number of like gray food cubes, there's some green food cubes, and the red food cubes are the highly prized ones, and it looks like they stole a bunch of red food bars.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just give Charlie a slight nod, and I will continue down the hallway in the direction I was going, towards the whistling.
You had one more question.
And I'll wait to see someone. Oh, what kind of health does Charlie look like they're in?
They look slightly emaciated from like malnourishment, and I'm gonna cap that observation off with as they like say, remember you didn't see me. They go to make quick work of like a ventilation grate that's situated at the base of this walkway, and it looks like they've used this one before because it's just a couple quick turns on the screws and without taking it off of the grate, and they pop it to the side, they slide in, and they push it back into place. And from the inside, they re-screw these things back into place to look like it's bolted in, but it's really not.
Interesting. I want to make a mental note of that one that they did so easily. I don't know why. I've been in trouble
May
before.
come in handy
I may need
later.
friends. Yeah. And then I'll head down the hallway towards where I hear the whistling.
Yeah, and it only takes a moment before the whistling sound gets closer, and two of the colony security come, and they're carrying stun batons, and they're dressed in the Weyland Yutani blue-gray fatigue jumpsuits. Their little utility belts are clipped on, and they got the little caps that show that they're the security force. And they say, "Hey, did you see a kid come by this way?"
No, I haven't seen much of anybody. Could you tell me where this is? And I'm pointing to the map I have for my quarters. I've gotten all turned around in here, and I have no idea where I am.
Yeah. One looks to the other and says, "Go on ahead. I'll make sure she gets where she needs to go." And the other nods and kind of starts a jog down the hall in search of the thief. But you have a moment to catch sight of a name tag on the one that stays by, and it's a female security officer by the name of Isa, IZA. And she kind of lifts her cap and she looks and she says, "Oh, yeah, I know where that is. I can take you there."
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I just got here. Just got off the ship, and I've been looking for it. Got all turned around.
Oh, you're the pilot that had that bumpy landing, huh?
Yeah. Parts of the
Hey, don't worry
ship
about
were
it.
not where they were supposed to be.
Don't even worry about it. You didn't crash, and that's what's important.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the only crash you need to worry about is the one you don't walk away from, right?
That is true.
That's what my father always said. He was a pilot too. And the two of you are talking and walking at this point. And as she takes you out, it is just a short walk before you cross walkways and enter into a new building. And your room number is listed, and she takes you about right up to the door, and she says, "I think you can manage from here, right?"
Yes. Yeah, I definitely have it from here. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. So we were looking for a thief, a young kid, shaved on one side, dyed blue. They're not supposed to be here, and to say they're not supposed to be here is putting it lightly. They were supposed to be on the last ship out, but they snuck away, and they've been stealing food. And you know how Weyland Yutani is about that. If you see them, you can ask for me and just pass the information along.
Absolutely.
Thanks for that. And with like the deactivated stun baton, she just kind of lifts her cap up again and just a farewell. And there's kind of a momentary lingering glance before she walks away.
I'll give just kind of an awkward wave and then hurry into my room.
Yeah. And feel free to just make up whatever your room looks like. Weyland Yutani makes it very Spartan in that you have a desk, a bed, a small little like living area with like a table and chair, but how you want to decorate it over this time is up to you. Give it some life and personality.
Yeah. Coming into the room, I'll throw my bag down and I don't know that I have much with me to decorate because I've been essentially in space for the last decade running scavenging. So this room is probably larger, much larger than anything I would have stayed in for a while. Even excluding the cryo chambers. So I have some few pictures I think that I put up probably near the desk if there's a bulletin board, or just someplace where I can lean them up against the wall on top of the desk. Just get my clothes situated. I have a few partially completed like electronics projects that I've been working on that I lay out on the desk as well. And a small stuffed bear that has seen better days and has been patched up probably 2-3 dozen times. Most of its fur is worn off. I'll set it on my bed as well and just kind of sit down and look at the room for a bit.
Yeah, so you have this time to sit and think to yourself, and I think some time will pass, and Gerald, your wife's shuttle was expected to arrive late, and I think as time passes, it's about this time that the shuttle is finally coming back down, and you got just a quick message from her when she said it was departing, so you're there and ready, waiting for her when the shuttle touches down. And it's a much nicer shuttle than the one that Sarah had flown herself. This one is clearly a corporate exec, private kind of limousine class shuttle. And when she steps off, there are two synths that are carrying trunks and bags and just an obscene amount of luggage for her. And she seems to be on just a long-range business call as well. And she just says, I don't care what it's going to take. This colony should have at least triple the population capacity in space than it currently is operating at. And those people need to be on the ship within the next month to arrive here before, well, this place doesn't have a winter, but before the growing season is over. So you need to get your acid gear and get them here ASAP. And she finally disconnects, and she turns and she looks and she says, Gerald, and smiles.
Hello, Annie. I got you some refreshments.
Oh, good. And she'll take it gladly. And what is her favorite drink, Gerald?
Well, I got her some water just because that's what she needs. This isn't but her favorite drink would be something off kilter, be hot cocoa, and that's absolutely not what I'm going to give her in the heat.
No, not in the heat here. No. And so she kind of, when you say he got you a drink, there is a moment where she doesn't look appreciative of the water, and then the heat really does settle in, and she reconsiders and looks a little more grateful that it's being offered to her. And so she takes it and she says, very good, thank you, dear. Has everything been in order while I was gone?
Yes. Everyone is arriving. Seems to be settling in just fine. There's lots of happy faces. Everyone seems excited to get to work. No big problems.
Wonderful. And she just kind of stretches and shakes off the cryo sleep, and she says, I have a couple of meetings to attend to tonight, but I trust the new arrivals are easy enough for you to manage for now. And she takes out a little manila envelope and hands it over to you, and she says, before I arrived, the Science Chief Holzman had requested some new bodies to help. Do you think anybody here might be suitable?
What sort of help would that be? No, not to experiment on. Yes, you mentioned bodies.
And there's a moment where she looks like she is considering if she is going to humor that sort of question, and then she thinks better of it and says, "Oh, darling, of course not. We don't experiment on people here at Weyland Yutani. That would be unethical."
That's it. Ah. All right. So, what sort of skills should the people have then? Just.
He was requesting those that might be able to help collect samples out in the jungle. Nothing too skill heavy, but and as the folder is handed, she just kind of gestures for it to open, and it has like the dossier of everybody who arrived, and she goes, he might want a pilot. We do have a short-range shuttle that could be helpful to get the others. This one. And she taps on it, and you see that it's Sarah's name.
I had lunch with her just earlier today. A lovely from Savannah. You know, not the Earth one, the space one.
Very curious. Did she seem capable?
No, she's a terrible dancer, I'm afraid. I did ask. Oh, you mean as a pilot? Yes. Yeah, well.
And there's that look of momentary jealousy, and she crosses her arms, and she says, "Yes, I do mean her piloting skill, darling."
Yeah. Well, you know, the ship landed. Everyone was fine. It you know, it's her resume seems good. So. I have no reason to doubt her piloting skills.
Good. Well, he's going to need at least 3 others, and you can help oversee them, of course.
Yeah, I have a few ideas already about who to send into the jungle. I'll just make sure Scar Guy gets sent there.
Yeah. She does say at least 3, but the request is for as many as 10 if they're able, but in a population of 200, 10 might be a stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, you make a mental note that Scar Guy needs to be on there. I'm going to also make a note on the NPC list that Scar Guy is a player, or a PC.
He should get a name.
Yeah, I got a name generator open that I'm just kind of throwing in.
We can do better than that. Come on, name generator.
You can do better than that? You can do better than that?
ScarJo.
Yes, see, we're on the same page.
ScarJo,
yeah. And he's got a scar.
He's got a scar. Oof. I pulled up Bosco, and I was actually really happy with it.
Bosco's also
Joe
a good
Bosco.
name.
Joe Bosco. All right, Scar Guy, Joseph Bosco. It's compromise. Nice. we use both. All right, Scar Guy is Joseph Bosco, and we established that he was one of the religious fanatics, right? Or was this just somebody you had a problem with?
Let's decide. Is this guy religious, and if so, how? What do we think?
Yeah, he's religious.
Yeah, he's a religious guy. All right.
So obvious choice would be Christianity. So let's not pick that one.
Oh, all right. So, well, I think was it this group, or was it the other group that I established that the Buddhists have become a problem?
Yes.
Well, how about the Church of Unitology?
The Church of what?
Unitology.
Is that a real thing?
I've not heard of that one.
It was founded around AD 2300 by a man named Michael Altman.
Oh, I see what this is referencing. Okay. Yeah.
There you
No, I'm
go.
good with that. We'll do some crossovers.
Yes.
We already have a marshal who is also religious, but more in a spiritual sense.
Yeah, he's a spiritualist. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set that up. So you make a note that Joseph Bosco is going to be on this team, which is a curious choice because she also volunteered you to be the one in charge of the team. But that's fine. That way you can keep an eye on him and make sure that he doesn't cause any problems.
Mm-hmm. And if problems happen to us, I would prefer they happen to him.
Mm-hmm. That way happy accidents can happen. And so...
That's the corporate way.
That's the corporate way.
It's true.
By about this time, it's only late afternoon, which gives you all a little bit of time to mingle, peruse, set up for this mission. But usually the place where everybody goes to just kind of relax and hang out is the watering hole, which is the name of the only cantina on Paradisio Prime. But it's a fairly large cantina. It's large enough to cater to, a maximum occupancy of 50 people because, the other half are usually expected to be doing work at some point throughout the day/night. And so the watering hole is the place to be, and there's no real, hey, don't drink after, such and such time, or don't drink before such and such time, because time is a construct, and here on Paradisio, time runs just a little bit longer than it would on Earth. It's a 28-hour day on this planet.
How many of those hours are designated to be work hours?
Oh, how monstrous do I want to make Weyland Yutani? Let's see here. I'm gonna leave it to
Tuesday
chance.
through Thursday, 9 to 3.
All right, so you get 6 hours to yourself out of the 28 hours. Oof, that sounds rough. No, that probably would break some kind of union.
You'd need 8 hours of sleep at the very least.
Yeah, but this is a corporate dystopia. And please, I know plenty of people online right now that can tell you that 8 is not the amount they get. I was hoping that number would work a little better. So they expect the regular people. Shame. The regular people are expected to work anywhere from 14 to 16 hours. You are not the regular people, being a scientist, a corporate. No, you're not really a corporate person, but you're married to a corporate person, and so you're given a relatively cushy job. So your 14 hours, of course, are divvied up with large breaks between them. So you're not really working 14 hours. You're probably working only 6 out of your whole day. But the rest of the time
My
is
work
your own.
is more pick up as you go. It's whenever I feel like it. Everything I do could be considered work. If I have a chat with someone, that's my job.
Yeah, there is a lot of minute counting for your job, where it's I went and had a chat with these people for 20 minutes, and I had to go do this for an hour, and that's how you do all your timekeeping. But you don't have a punch in and out. But yeah, this watering hole, has a stereotypical space western feel to it. There is the bar situated at the center of it, and the layout makes kind of that U shape to it, where the tables and booths form around it, and the main entrance starts at the the curvature of the U instead of the arms. And so, you can see who's coming in and going from any side, but the bar itself is fixed with neon lights, and there is the skull of a large xeno creature mounted above a neon sign that says the watering hole. And behind the bar is a very gruff-looking woman. She has a rich green flannel that is wrapped around her waist, and she's kind of relaxing in more of a tank top while she's spit cleaning a glass as you all kind of filter in one by one, or maybe even arrange to see each other together.
Yeah, why not? Well, I had such a good time last time.
Space for that last bit. What's going on?
We're
I said
getting together.
Yeah, you guys are just meeting up at the watering hole. Whether you arrive together or one by one is your choice.
I think I'm gonna avoid Juniper for like today. So I am gonna attempt to learn how to bartend and just give it a try.
Oh, I like that.
Much to everyone's like, why though? And that's not what I ordered.
No. The owner, her name is Giselle, and she is all for it because you've known Giselle since the colony has been put together. She's one of the first roughnecks to have arrived and helped situate things, and her 10 years was put in already, and so her claim to the colony is being able to have this bar. And so she's like, Jerry, get over here.
Hello, Giselle. How are you today?
Just fine. I heard your pretty dame is back.
The wife, yes. She's busy at work, as always. Yes. So if you have any serious problems, she'll just fix them right up.
I'm sure she will. Don't even worry about it. Everything is good right now, though. What brings you over here?
Well, I thought I would try to show community spirit, make myself useful, and help you bartend.
You wanna mix some drinks, huh?
Yeah, so pick up some new skills, This is certainly
I like it.
A skill everyone appreciates.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna be happy to have you mixing their drinks. Don't even worry about it. So here's what we're gonna do. You go ahead and put that apron on.
Oh, my own apron. Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
It's not the right color.
And the apron. Yeah, and printed on it, it says, "Don't hate me, I'm new." Just printed on it in bold
that's
letters.
very accurate, because I am new, and I would really not want people to think poorly of me because of it.
Jerry, don't worry about it. Everybody loves you. I mean, except
so kind of you to
Bosco.
say.
And when
it's
she
not
says
quite
Bosco,
close.
the camera kind of pans over, and we see Bosco sitting in a dark corner, just glaring at Gerald.
For no reason. That's too cartoony, but
No, it's fine. It works. He's gonna save the day before this is over. Don't worry.
yeah, I hope I don't have to serve him a drink. Yes. Let's get started. So this is the tap, and it's this handle right here. Yes, and we're gonna.
That's for your basic drafts. But if they ask you to mix them a drink, you're gonna have to actually start using the measurings and this is the swivel stirrer, and the chief security officer, he likes an appletini, so I hope you can put that
Oh,
together.
I love
for him.
those. Yes, I think I can
Everybody does.
swing that. That seems good.
Fantastic.
It's a bit like science.
Just a bit.
And I'll just
And,
enthusiastically get to work.
Yeah, and I think while this is a little stressful, I don't need a roll from you. You pick up fairly quickly how to mix these drinks, and yeah, you got a pretty
He
good
would know
agility.
about alcohol because he's fancy and he spends all his time at parties. So
Yeah, and you got a good agility, so I'm not really worried about your ability to, coyote ugly a couple bottles too. So
he would never
may
do
not
that.
get to that.
Never.
Yeah. Doesn't get to that point, but he has the capability. And so, what is Sarah and Juniper doing with their time?
I'm sure I find a flyer for the watering hole in my packet of new arrivals information.
Yep.
So I'll probably
it's the only
after...
fun place to be.
Yeah. Is that what the advertisement says?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So after setting up my room, I'll probably, I'll make my way over there if I can find it. I think I'll make my way over there walking through the hangar because I want to see what kind of stuff I'll be working with, like what kind of ships they have here, the quality of them, that sort of thing.
And there aren't many ships right now. Yours is still docked, of course, because it has to go under some repairs since it was reported that it was malfunctioning earlier. But you do see that there is also this more fancy luxury shuttle that's there. You would recognize that it probably belongs to a Weyland Yutani executive. It's very expensive. If you had found this out in salvage, it would have been worth just a stupid amount of cut for you. And you don't even really want to go near it because your salary doesn't cover even a portion of paying for damages. Oh, no, that's not Ian. Shay, your typing's cutting through. Sorry about that. And so, as you make your way through the hangar to look around, make me another observation roll as you're looking around. Okay. You kind of look around to see if there's anything else interesting to see, and you notice that there's another one of these air vent grates that looks like it had been tampered with. There's the scuffing of it having been recently pushed aside or moved from the wall. And even with just a gentle manipulation, you'll see that the screws that would fasten it in place are not actually secure, but it gives that impression that it had been set into the wall when it really wasn't. It looks like it was another one of these tunnels that this Charlie had been using.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, give a wide berth around the fancy ship then. And so all the ships I'm seeing are the ones that we came in on. Are those the same ones we would use in the atmosphere, or are there other vehicles around, or?
There are a couple of ground vehicles that do get used. Mainly they're construction vehicles, or there's like two covered transport ground vehicles. There's also I guess like the closest thing to describe it would be like a low altitude VTOL kind of aircraft where it's got the little Harrier engines on the sides of it, so it gives you like a very low hover flight and kind of the ability to skiff over these jungle canopy trees without going too high.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just make note of all of that and make my way to the watering hole.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna also make note of it because I put it into the world.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I love doing. I always throw these questions out to you guys because I like collaborative world building. So whenever you hear me typing furiously, it's because I'm adding these details that you guys helped me create. So
Yeah.
I said there were 2 trucks, a couple of construction vehicles, and a VTOL aircraft. Cool. And I'm also going to write down that Mitch strangled a bunny. That's fine.
Yeah, it's
Not
chill.
Mitch, but Juniper.
So
This was straight from real life, right?
Yeah.
This really happened,
I-
I imagine.
Listen, I make a note of these details because it's important, because when the bunny xenomorph shows up, it's going to be what kills Juniper. They're going to hesitate for a second too long, and it's going to just jump at them. But yeah, so Sarah, you take note of all of this stuff, and you're more than capable of driving all of them. There isn't a separate drive ability, so I just kind of lump that into piloting, unless it turns out to be something else instead.
It is part of piloting.
It's still pilot. Sweet. So yeah, you're capable of driving all of these. You're trained to do so, and you feel like it wouldn't be too much trouble. But you like to stick to the air, I imagine, and so that VTOL looks very, very fun, and it has a passenger capacity of like 10 people, less if you're fitting a lot of cargo into it.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll make my way through the back of the hangar. I'll make my way towards wherever the watering hole is.
Yeah. And so, Sarah, you're the last one to enter into the watering hole, but you do get to see that everyone else is there, or at least everybody you've met so far. There's a couple of the security officers who are currently off duty, but they stay relatively in uniform because you're never really off duty in a small colony like this, but they're seated around. There's about 5 of them. They have their own booth where they're enjoying drinks. Gerald is surprisingly behind the bar, next to a rather large as in tall and muscular, older looking woman. She seems to be the bartender and owner of the establishment. And then you see Juniper, their synth is also here.
I'll probably nod towards Juniper if he's looking at me, and then I'll head towards the bar. I'll probably just sit at the bar, looking at Gerald. You do everything, don't you?
It is actually my first time standing behind the bar. I just wanting to be a little more busy. Can I get you a drink?
Just a whiskey's fine.
Okay. I will pour you something nice, because you knew. So I'll
So
find
what-
something that. No. But
Thank you. So what is your job exactly? You were a tour guide earlier, now you're a bartender?
I don't really have like a set job as much. You know, I'm just here as my wife's +1. But I like to stay busy, so I pitch in wherever I can, and part of my duties involve showing new people around a bit, and making sure that everyone is happy and comfortable, making friends, organizing parties. Really keen to get started making the place a little more, well, less drab, you know. 'Cause I don't know if you've noticed the colors of the walls, but those were not my idea. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, I've actually been giving a mission to collect, to help one of the doctors collect samples in the woods, and you're also on this mission. I'll point to the roster. Yes, and so is that gentleman over there, unfortunately, and her, and those two.
I see him.
Yeah.
When are we doing this mission?
It says that we're doing this. What was it, tomorrow? I'm assuming. Probably. We'll go with tomorrow.
Yeah, at this rate, probably easier to do it tomorrow.
Yeah. So, you'll get to show us your stuff.
I will be sure not to have too bad of a hangover then.
Oh yeah, that would be quite terrible. So, maybe just
It's not
stick
pleasant.
to this. Yeah, this is one.
Some say people fly better with a hangover, though. And you see your co-pilot is seated on a booth, not too far from here.
Oh, did he say that out loud?
Oh yeah, he said that out loud. He just kind of raises his whiskey glass.
To each their own.
Yeah, I suppose.
Are the two of you friends?
He was my co-pilot coming in.
Ah.
Helped make sure that we
Yes.
landed that ship okay while it was falling apart.
Yeah, she's one hell of a pilot.
That's terrible. Well, that's high praise coming from another pilot such as yourself. How are you
Nobody-
finding everything? So,
Paradisio's a slice of paradise. I get that name now.
well, you're certainly dressed for the occasion. It's
He nods and kind of ruffles the Hawaiian shirt a little bit. He says, see, the brass liked it.
very, very, very smart. There's quite a lot of science coming into play when you're picking out your outfits to match the environment. It needs to be warm enough
Exactly.
or breezy enough, and that seems about right. Also, it's nice and bright, so
Exactly.
we can keep track of you.
Mm-hmm. I got this whole peacocking thing going. Hopefully somebody will like it.
How is that
are
going
you
for you?
looking for? Yeah, I do have a list of everyone in the colony. Perhaps we can, find you some friends.
Well, I'm here for the foreseeable future, after all. So why not? Yeah, any eligible colonists. I don't discriminate.
Okay, that's 200 eligible bachelors. What's coming up?
Well, 199. You definitely not my type.
198. You're married. 97. She's
I
also
think I am,
married.
Yes. Is it
Yeah,
Phil?
you put in those filters of like, are they married? Are they under 18? And like it does start to file down a little bit. But yeah, there's a good handful of like.
Yeah, we're legally not allowed to ask about preferences and such, but it's in here anyway. Not sure how, but like we'll do that. And then, do you have any hobbies or something besides being a pilot?
I do a really good game of Parcheesi.
Do you now? Well, that's going to come in handy. Don't have anyone else in the colony who listed Parcheesi as a main interest. But
I mean, I go hunting occasionally, but I don't think there's much wildlife out here to hunt. Yeah. There ain't much to hunt out here, is there?
Bugs the bugs do get about this big, so. Yeah.
As long as the snails don't get that big.
I don't think I've ever seen a snail on the planet. But
that's good.
Perhaps
that's
you,
good.
as a skilled hunter, can track one down.
Challenge accepted.
He's gonna die in the woods because I made him chase a snail.
You had this man go looking for it. Yeah. So, anybody planning to go excessive in their drinking?
I mean, I feel like I will be chatting up Gerald's wife if she's present.
She would be eventually as the hours get on. She finally shows up, and she initially would approach the bar to see what Gerald's doing, and then realizing that he's staying out of trouble, she just goes to her little private booth and stays there.
Yeah, I'll chat her up.
But she looks the synth up and down and says, "Doctor, I didn't realize this was our scheduled psych eval."
It's not. This is just a regular conversation.
I highly doubt that, but all right.
Why so paranoid?
I'm not. We have these conversations before, and your off switch when it comes to work does not happen very often.
Well, it is off. I'm happy to see your husband in such a beautifully social environment.
He is quite the social butterfly.
Can I get you a drink?
See if she has gotten in the shipment of cocoa yet. It should have arrived months ago.
Hot chocolate.
Yes.
That's what you'd like.
It is my favorite.
Well, I can provide it for you. Sure. I'll be back momentarily.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go search for that hot chocolate.
Yeah. And so, geez, I already forgot her name because I made the mistake of not writing it down. What did I say the bartender's name was?
Giselle.
Giselle, thank you. Yes. Yeah, no, it was that.
It's actually one of my favorite names, so.
Oh, it's such a good sounding name, too. I can't believe I forgot it. Roughneck bartender. Okay. So Giselle is regaling the patrons and Gerald with a story, and that's when Juniper walks in, and she's like, and so there I was. I had him in a full-on headlock, choking the air out of him. It's the last time any pirates ever tried to get aboard my ship. Popped his neck like a walnut. And everybody's just kind of like, oh. Yeah, but that was back in the days before the Marines were doing more active patrols, and pirates were all over the place. They're a real menace. Thankfully, none of them are here in Paradisio.
I'm glad you've gotten a chance to live a more caring, peaceful life. You seem very good at this. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, 10 years making this dirt ball into something we could be proud of definitely has been a wonderful experience. Much more peaceful than my spacefaring days.
So Giselle is one of the cornerstones of our little society, and you definitely want to be friends with her if you can manage it.
Always be friend with your bartender. We make sure you're taken care of.
Yes. But not just for the services. You're also just a good person to talk to. You know?
What can I get for you? You don't
Hot
drink.
chocolate. No, I don't.
Oh, did the chocolate arrive? I hadn't noticed.
I hope so. I don't want to leave your wife unsatisfied.
There is a wide smirk on Giselle's face. Yeah, not many people would.
Hot chocolate, please.
Yeah, let me go check in the back and make sure that that's there.
Good.
And she
so.
quickly walks away from this.
My sweetie is a strange creature to want hot chocolate in, the hot human jungle. But the eccentricities are what I like about her.
It is peculiar.
The co-pilot Richard chimes in. It's like, well, when you're in cryo freeze for like 6 months, and chocolate's a rare commodity, I can't imagine anybody would pass up on the opportunity. And when was the last time you had a Chardonnay, huh?
Well, there's some over there. Would you like some?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I would.
And I can get him a Chardonnay, which I brought in personally myself.
Thank you. This is incredibly generous of you.
Oh, don't even worry about it. We're all one big happy family here, after all. Gotta look out for one another. And if Chardonnay is what you would want to be happy, then Chardonnay it shall be. I do hope it's
I'm gonna really like being in this colony. The great thing about wine is they get better with time. Just out of curiosity, what year would you say the Chardonnay is? And you don't have to give me an exact year. You can just put a year date on it, like how many decades or something.
Quite a few, because space travel takes a long time. So the thing I'm worried about is if it's vinegar now.
Ooh. How long does it take to go to vinegar? I genuinely don't.
Very long. Like it shouldn't, but these things happen.
I don't think it is. I think anything that would be kept in storage for these travels, especially things like this, they would have their own temperature sealed containers to keep them at that optimal temperature, so nothing would cause it to prematurely spoil.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're considerably well off too, so you and your wife could make arrangements for anything that you guys had imported is taken care of. So I don't think there's any issue of it going bad.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you pour him this glass, and he sips it, and you see his expression just brighten. And he says, "Hot damn! With friends like you, I'm really going to enjoy this time here."
I hope so. Good. Would you perhaps like to go with us on the excursion tomorrow? We're going to the woods to collect samples to help our science friends. That's something we would enjoy.
Is that all right with? Is that all right with you, there, Sarah?
Sure. They say the more the merrier, right?
Absolutely. Yay. You never want to go into the jungle in small groups, after all. How you expect to chase away any other predators in there?
Oh, it's
true.
There's nothing too scary in there. I think it's mostly just the bugs, which do tend to
bugs.
Get quite large.
What about the skull
Neither of
on
you
the
have a
sign?
phobia, yes? No phobias for insects?
No.
Spiders. I hate them.
No.
They're interesting.
Well. Sarah,
Not fond
you
of
were saying
wasps,
something?
but
Wasps. Well, try not to take that too personally as I was across.
I was wondering if there's not any predators in the woods. What about that skull up on the sign?
Oh, this isn't from here. No, I got this. I paid a good amount of credits to get this brought in. Yeah, I got this off world. This came from, it came from a world not too far from here. Probably about 4 years in cryo sleep travel to get to it. They called it Halogen 7.
Wow.
So it's not a personal achievement. It's just decor.
Oh, it is. It was a no. This is a hunting trophy. I killed this myself, but it costs money to get this imported when you're cargo space and all.
Yes. Well, it looks nice up there. Very atmospheric.
Yeah, it does. It really sells the impression that this is a rough and tumble sort of establishment.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna take my hot chocolate, and I'm gonna go there and have a conversation. Good evening, you all.
Goodbye, Juniper.
Doctor.
Yeah, and so Juniper, you have this hot chocolate, and this hot chocolate is not the packet tearaway kind of brand. Like, Giselle put some real effort into this mug, and it has like some synthetic whipped cream on it and some extra chocolate shavings on top, and one of those like little swirly cookies stuffed into it.
Ooh.
It's very weird for Giselle to go above and beyond for these drinks, but it looks like she made an exception for the head of the settlement. You bring it over to her. Well, it's good that she was able to scrounge it up. It didn't take you too long to ring it.
No, it didn't take long at all. Please, go ahead, drink it.
And she takes a moment to savor it with a slow sip. And there's that just taking it all in, basking in the flavor. Chocolate is a rare commodity out here until, the cocoa crop comes in, because this is the prime temperature area for such a crop to be grown, but it's going to take a little while. And so she seemed very content, and she says, well, what is it that you did want to talk about then?
Nothing. Let's just sit here and enjoy ourselves.
All right.
And he's just like very still, just unblinking, staring forward at her.
Yeah. I mean, it probably lasts that way for just a minute or so, and finally she says, all right, so this is really unnerving that you just sit there.
I'm sorry, would you like to discuss something?
I thought that was the original purpose of you coming here. And, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to leave if you don't have anything to say, but how are you doing?
I'm fine. Just fine. I enjoy my room.
You have everything you need there.
I do. In a very profound way.
So, what about the new arrivals? Anything to worry about with them?
What is it about silence between two people that unnerves us so? Why can't we just sit here
with our own thoughts?
Are you afraid of your own thoughts?
No, I'm just thinking about more productive things I could be doing if I'm not distracting myself. It is why people come to these sort of places, to distract themselves from the profits they could be making for Weyland Yutani.
How's your husband? Gerald, isn't it?
Yes, you were just over there talking to him. He's fine. Very good man. Very dedicated to his work, and I'm quite proud of that.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask it in the shallow sense. I mean, when you both lay your heads on the pillow at night, before you go to sleep, staring at each other, what is it that you think about when you look at him right before you go to sleep?
Being perfectly frank, I haven't been able to do that for 6 months. He was here on the colony, and I was in transit. So last time that happened...
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, I do. And she does have to think for a moment, and in that awkward silence, she brings the hot cocoa up to her mouth again, and then her little communicator goes off, and she says, well, Doctor, as much as I would love to answer this deeply personal question, I have a call to answer.
It can't wait?
No, I don't think it can. Weyland Yutani waits for no one.
That's fair. Well, enjoy your evening. I'll be right here when you're ready to come back.
He says, all right. And so she gets up and walks all the way out of the watering hole.
I'll just sit here.
I'll just wait here. She's like, all right, I'm not coming back then. Bye. Yeah. But probably not even 30 seconds into when she leaves, Gerald, your little communicator goes off, and there's a message from your wife that just says, that droid is fucking weird. But she doesn't say fucking, but she just says the doctor is being weird again.
Yes, I'll message something back like, I have a story for you later.
See, I'm bringing people together.
Yep. Coming together in unity against this weird robot. All right. So I think we should wrap up just a little early here, since we are short a person. We've done some great character introductions for everyone thus far, and I do want to give Janny a chance to get Rosalinda in and acclimated before we throw you all into the death jungle, because we should have a chance to get to know them before they before. Yeah,
what jungle?
No,
The official name?
Yeah, it is the translation. It sounds much more fancy in Latin, but the jungle. Before you guys are thrown into the jungle, the paradise jungle where nothing bad ever happens.
Yay!
But I think that'll be a good stopping point. And oh gosh, this is something.
Welcome to IKEA Jungle.
Earlier. Yeah, good old SCP IKEA Jungle. I do not honestly know what the advancement system works on for this in the campaign play, so I will find that answer for you guys over the week and let you know if there's any experience or track to move along to get you closer. I am thoroughly excited and impressed. I'm also going to, in the Roll20, I'm just going to put this out here so you guys can see it. This is just the colony list, because there are those of you who should know this stuff anyways. So far, here's the people who have been established or is on this dossier that Gerald has. So that's everything for me. And why don't we get to the point where we will wrap this up?
Did we name the co-pilot?
Yeah, the co-pilot's name was
Richard Kowalski.
Richard Kowalski.
Right.
Yep, there he is, co-pilot. He's directly under your wife, Margaret.
Oh my.
Ha. No, he's over enjoying his Chardonnay. He's not doing anything unseemly. Not yet, anyways. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite done finding him a wife or a husband or whatever he'd like.
I mean, he's not picky. He'll take what he can get. But he's a charming individual. I'm sure anyone will be happy to have him. But,
let's just have like Alien, the romance game.
Alien, the romance game. Yeah. So we're going to do our outros, but once again, a big thank you to Free League Publishing for creating the Alien RPG system and giving us a chance to run it, because this game is fun and we are slowly but surely building up the atmosphere of a perfectly pleasant and nothing to be afraid of situation for these folks. But we'll go in the same order that we did, which will be DustBun, PH, Mitch, and then I'll close it out.
Yeah, so I'm Anna, aka ArchivalDustBunny, most places on the internet. I played Sarah, the pilot, tonight. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer. If any of that sounds interesting, you can find me on Twitter at ArchivalDustBun. When I'm not here, Tuesday nights you can find me over on the Black Feather Guild at 8 p.m. Eastern playing Dragon Age. It's a two-party campaign with some of the people here that will hopefully eventually overlap. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I play a rogue who may or may not be a crow. A lot of people think she's a crow. We'll see. Wednesday nights you can find me on Valdrin's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern playing Morphs in the Swamp, which is our Animorphs-themed Blades in the Dark campaign. It's angsty and traumatic and full of 90s nostalgia. You're really missing out if you aren't watching. Sundays, you can find me either on Gona_Hawking's Twitch channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, playing D&D in a world of 1930s technology with a really great cast of characters and players, or you can find me on Guild of the Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern, playing Cyberpunk Red, where I play a medtech who is overworked, trying to keep our party alive and healthy. And if podcasts are more your thing, you can find me on Response Team, Omnicron, a Lancer, actual play podcast, playing through No Room for a Wallflower. Our first episode drops October 11th, so very soon. And newly announced Heroes of New Halcyon, which is a City of Mist actual play, following superheroes coming back to their old city to find it in a state that is not familiar to them. But the best place to find where and when right. The best place to find out where and when I'm streaming is on Twitter, so give me a follow there.
All right. And then right on down to PH.
Yay! Hi everybody, I'm PaladinHulk. I had such a good time. Juniper is creepy AF. Like, oh my god.
Yep.
Super looking forward to next time. Really want to see Janie interact with that character, because it's gonna go bizarre.
They're not prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and next you can find me is tomorrow, or in a few hours, actually over on Polished Cryptid channel, where I play Dom Rain, a Githzerai noble fighter, and I have just learned that the hope that I was looking for in another survivor from my race is dead. So there is no more hope, and everything is terrible. So that should be fun to watch. Then Fridays, I am over on the Blackfeather Guild playing Dragon Age, where I play Jade, your humble servant. I am one of those elves who doesn't spend their time sleeping in the dirt and instead living the high life. But not right now, because I'm forced to be on an adventure with idiots. Such is life. And then Sundays, I am over on Uncanny Adventures, where I play Holt, the pirate paladin who tries to make friends with all the evil pirates. Really hoping we can get a session in, because the last two, I think, were cancelled, which is sad, because I really like that game. So, tune in. And then I'm back here.
Woo.
Yeah.
And right on over to Mitch.
I am Mitch. You can find me at Mitchsbustillos on Twitter. If you're going to Origins this coming week, you'll see me there too. I just got back from Gen Con, got a nice weekend to chill out, and Wednesday I will be going up to Origins with the disembodied voice in the background, or tech. So really excited. So if you're definitely going, make sure to say hi. Other than that, my Kickstarter is coming out October 5th, Chew, the TTRPG based on the New York best-selling comic book with the same name. So if you like foodies, cannibals, cooks, cops, and crooks, as well as clairvoyance, this is the TTRPG for you. And yeah, that's about all I got going on.
All right. Well, hi, I'm Ridis of Party Wipe Games. You can catch me here on Weave the Tale, over on Valdrian's channel, or on our own channel, Party Wipe Games, where we do a number of variety tabletop RPG games. Tomorrow, we will be playing a premiere of a Sabbat campaign for Vampire the Masquerade, because the PDF was released for anybody who pre-ordered. Even though the books are still stuck in customs limbo, they were nice enough to give the PDFs to everyone. So our plan to play,
I touched it.
You got to touch it.
Touched it last week.
You touched the
Cadence
PDF?
was talking
That's impressive.
No, the core rule book, they had it at Gen Con. There was like one.
They were saying
just grab it and run.
They were saying there were like a full-on book of Nod and stuff too that you could look at. That was really
They
it was all
had
leather
both
bound
of them
and
there.
full. Yeah, that's exciting. I don't get to go to cool conventions or anything. Mitch, MagFest though, it is on my days off, so I do plan to be there for that too. So mark your calendar. But yes, Sabbat game will be premiering tomorrow. I still have no idea what character I'm going to play. I kept saying I'm going to play a Samichi, but then I sit down and I look at the rules and I'm like, I don't really think I can be just an awful trash person, so I chose not to do that.
Shovelhead number 5.
Yeah, Shovelhead number 5. I might do what I always do and pick the best clan, which is La Sombra, because
you're so
basically
wrong, but that's okay.
I'm not though, and I'll fight you on it. Spoilers for the PDF. They basically say all the clans are open to the Sabbat for creation. So like, there's no restrictions like Anarchs and Camarilla have. So basically, it's a free for all for whatever you want to play. Wednesday,
You get to play the best clan. Premier.
La Sombra. No. Listen, Nosferatu I would play just because I like the hard mode of Nosferatu. There's some fun stuff. There's like even Thin Bloods. They have things where they can start taking solar energy into their body through the alchemy, and they just become like UV bombs. And I could talk about it for hours, but I'm trying to do my outro. Wednesdays, over on Party Wipe Games, we do Tomb of Annihilation, where I play a druid. It's my first time playing a druid, so I'm excited about actually committing to that for once. Thursdays are open, but we are not open. Thursdays will be the session 0 of the Something Beyond the Witchlights, the new 5th edition adventure, Wilds Beyond the Witchlight. I don't know what I'm going to be playing for that yet, so session 0 is going to help me solidify that idea. It will probably be a fighter because that's what I default to, and I've had an idea of playing a halfling cavalier that rides a corgi forever, a dire corgi to be specific, or just a regular corgi. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thursdays, that's Thursdays. Fridays, over on Valdrian's channel, I run a mass game. We're 2 episodes in, and it's been incredible. There have been some sprinklings of who the big bads potentially could be in both episodes, and we're going to see where it takes us, because it's a game about teen dramas, and the biggest enemy is their own emotions, apparently. So we'll see where that takes us. Saturdays, we play a 5th edition homebrew game. Sundays, we play Savage Worlds, and oh boy, there's so much stuff that I do. I don't have a day off, and that's basically it. So I'm done. I'm gonna stop talking now. We should go to somebody else. Do we have somebody we can raid?
No, that's it.
Yeah,
you're it.
That's it. Y'all are in charge of getting us out of here. No, that's it, everyone. Have a great night. I don't know why I brain farted there, but we are done. So let's get up out of here and find somebody to raid.